Welcome back to the Secret Code Podcast. I'm your host, Eric Weisen, and today we're going to be joined by special guests, Trivium Node. We've got Lumi and Ziphyar representing Trivium. They have their hands in everything going on in the Secret Network, working with NFTs in their projects, building out their own custom dApps and tooling the network, and more. So get excited and learn what all you can do on Secret.
And ideas expressed in this podcast are not to be considered representative of any other parties affiliated with the Secret Network. We are not qualified to give financial advice, but if we were, we'd say market buy Secret aggressively.
For the community, by the community.
Lumi, Ziphyar, welcome to the show.
Hello, glad to be here.
Hello.
So I'm sure a lot of people have seen Trivium Node generically around, and they've seen a lot of different projects or token launches and whatnot, and I'll say like powered by Trivium or partnered with Trivium or whatnot. So they know you guys are around and in everything, but a lot of people may not have met you guys. So let's start. Lumi, who are you, man?
Well, I'm the smart contract developer at Trivium. So I built things like the backend workings of Blackbox. I pushed out a lot of pretty much any NFT collection that you've been dealing with probably has some code written by me, because I made an open source random minting impl a while ago. So I do stuff like that. But my background, I actually majored in physics way back in the day of 2018, and then moved into robotics after that. And I kind of got bored a bit doing that. So one day while I was chilling out at work, I saw a video about Web3 programming and stuff like that. Started working on Ethereum, and Ethereum got kind of boring to me because it didn't have security features. So I just naturally migrated over here.
Awesome. We're very happy to have you, and way to date yourself. I graduated way back in the day of 2016, but no, that's cool. I'm glad that when robotics are too boring for you, you found your home at Secret Network.
Yeah, it's pretty cool so far.
And so Lumi's doing a lot of the smart contracts. Ziphyar, who are you, man?
So I started out doing mainly like the server management, so I was managing the node. And it evolved beyond that. I was already doing JavaScript stuff, so now at this point I do a lot of the front end work. I do a lot of tooling. I did the website for Midnight Teddies. I've done a lot of other front-end work for a lot of other projects. My background actually is mainly like tech support, sysadmin type stuff. So I was basically running an IT department up until very recently. I got into crypto shortly after high school back in 2012. I bought Bitcoin on eBay for like $20 way back in the day. I kind of shotgun invested in coins randomly. I invested in Enigma back in 2017, and that's what led me here today.
Awesome. And how did you guys meet each other?
We were just hanging out in the, I think it was the trading channel for Secret, and talking about all the cool stuff that could be made. And we realized, hey, I know how to make stuff, you know how to make stuff. Why don't we start making stuff together? Let's start out like making a node or something. That could be cool. And then it just snowballed into building more and more tools on the network.
That is absolutely awesome. Audience, if you guys aren't actively involved in all the telegrams and different media channels that we have here at Secret Network, you need to get involved. That's where real lifelong relationships are made. That's how Paul and I found each other. And now we've got the podcast and working on AMMs and stuff. So it's it's a great place to find like-minded individuals who want to see the advancement of technology. Awesome job.
It's amazing like how many cool people are in those chats.
And interesting personalities. So many said, I don't know if you guys were there for all the blue and red marble stuff, but that one still gets me.
I missed that. What was that about?
Oh man, we had this guy that every night he'd spam like 500 or 600 messages about economics and how he builds apps for like millions and millions of people. Like there are tons of trolls, but it was, my God, was it entertaining. And he just explained every economic concept with blue and red marbles. and not well. It was great though.
Sounds like fun.
But some of the toolings you guys have built, so you have the My Secret Liquidity, where you can show like your different LP pairs that you guys are contributing to. You've got the My SNIP-20 History, which is a really cool way of showcasing like where you've been or what you've been doing with your SNIP-20s, which is not easy to come by. And you've recently dropped Blackbox. What would you guys like to talk about first? I'll pull it up.
Ziff, do you want to talk about the stuff that you made first, since those were like earliest chronologically?
Yeah. So that's really got me started with developing in blockchain in general. The SNIP-20 or the My Liquidity that came first. Well, actually, before that, I did the secret swap LP token calculator. So that just took you inputted the number of LP tokens you had. It told you how many of each original asset it's currently worth. I expanded that, decided to really start learning JavaScript and integrate it with Kepler. That brought the My Liquidity tool, which just scanned your wallet for any viewing key for any pool. If it found it, popped it up and queried it for your current balance and just showed you how much you had, totaled it all up. That really came from, I was pretty new to DeFi at the time, and I really wanted to see where all my money was. So that's the way I came up with to do it. And I just decided to share that with everyone else. SNIP-20 History, I saw a lot of people asking for how to see that, and I knew it was possible, so I just built a quick tool for it. Could use an update. It's going to get an update probably really soon, but it's still very functional today.
Awesome. Yeah, and then the transaction decryptor I've used a lot of times when helping people, and they're like, hey, like, I don't know what happened. I don't know what the error is. We'll check secret node to see if it's a gas error, and if it's not, we'd use the transaction detector, and we could put in the TX hash, and it'll scoop up a bunch of code and kind of show what went wrong. So lots of very important tools. I know from tons of experience now, I've seen like Secret Labs leading people here are using your guys' site all the time to see what went wrong. So if you guys are building the tooling that our core development team's using, awesome job.
Yeah, the transaction decryptor, Asaf had actually DM'd me one day and asked me to make a simple site to do that because he needed help with a support ticket. So that's where that came from. And it will also be getting an update very soon that'll be a lot more useful than just a single transaction at a time.
Yeah, it's been very useful with helping people that had cloak issues early in the day as well. We had an error where it would time out a little bit too early and it wouldn't give you a transaction code. So people had to go through the transaction decryptor and figure out what their transaction code was to unlock their funds in there. Gotcha.
Well, awesome job. Thank you, guys. So yeah, you guys just figure out like, you guys kind of need this, build it. You guys kind of need this, build it. Do you guys get like paid, like funding models for it? I know you guys run your node, and so if audience, you want to support the Trivium node, you guys can always delegate to the Trivium node, and they'll get some commission. But do you guys get grant programs or whatnot, or are you just building it because you think it's cool?
So we don't often get grant programs, but Blackbox we collect a very small fee on. And then we'll help out other people with their NFT projects or whatever they're building sometimes. And that can net us a little bit of funding. But for the most part, a lot of the stuff we make, it really goes out for free most of the time. Blackbox is really the exception where we like charge fees.
Yeah, and even that's only a 0.04% fee.
Yeah, it's very low.
That's very low.
We want to keep people as secure as possible, and we don't want, outrageous prices to be an impediment to that. No one's going to use it if it's a ridiculously high fee. And, what we really care about is that this network is useful. We're not really here to just, extract wealth from it. We want to see the network thrive.
Absolutely. Yeah, I get bothered when I see too many people try to nickel and dime people. So I'm glad you guys have a successful node up and running, and I'm glad you guys are, getting decent delegations and whatnot. And I hope you guys do get paid well because you are doing awesome jobs in tooling the network. But like, I come from the casino industry, and the way casinos operate is they run almost everything at a loss. They run their hotels at a loss. Poker rooms are run at a loss. All their restaurants are run at a loss, and all of those are to support bringing people in and whatnot. And then people lose all their money gambling. So they all net, as long as they run all these other programs to facilitate people coming in to gamble, it actually helps their net income and their net profits by running these other things at a loss. So I'm a big fan of not charging for whatever we can not charge for. And you guys for doing all this and keeping it cheap and making it easy for users to, we have to build out more user-friendly things like these in order to grow as a network. So why don't you walk us through kind of what these couple projects on Blackbox are?
Yeah, so first I'm going to start with why I came up with these in the first place. So I was helping a guy out making an NFT contract and just, giving him a walkthrough and explaining why things were going wrong the way they were. And he offered to tip me a couple secret. And so I said, sure, yeah, why not? And I sent him my address, and then he followed up after sending me the secret. He's like, that's quite a lot you have staked there, winky face. And I'm like, okay, I never want to... Thank you for. I mean, I didn't say any of this to him, but I never wanted this to happen again. I don't like people looking at what I have, so I was like, okay, what if there was a way to receive funds without having to give addresses? So I came up with Dead Drop, where you can make an alias, and whenever someone wants to send you funds, they'll use that alias instead of your address. So that way you don't have to dox yourself. And we actually have a bunch of tokens available there. If you are in the Send tab and you click that little secret emblem up next to amount,
Okay.
the S.
Oh,
so you
that's
can
really
cycle
cool.
through all those tokens. And whenever we get a demand for another one to be added, we can just go in and add it, and you can add that to the list of things that you can send on Dead Drop.
Nice.
So then after that, I was thinking, if I doxed myself already, I want to move to another wallet, but I can't get gas there easily. So I need to make something that'll let me send gas to another wallet without having a connection between my old one and the new one. So with that, I came up with Cloak, and that lets you seed new wallets without having a connection between the old and the new one.
So this one will let you send secret, and it will unwrap for the user, so they'll have regular secret that can be used for gas without showing who it was sent from.
Yes, and you can. It's kind of like Tornado Cash, where it gives you a transaction key for you to cash in, except it's all generated on chain because this is secret network and we can do that. So, way better, in my opinion.
I love that just one small application use case that you guys built out on Secret Network is the equivalent of all of Tornado Cash.
Yeah, pretty much.
I've been telling people this for like forever. They're like, oh yeah, Monero, and Monero's super cool, and it is more private than Secret and whatnot. But the idea is full on like private transactions, all that kind of stuff is just a byproduct of what Secret Network creates. All of what Tornado Cash is doing with mixing and whatnot is just a byproduct of what Secret Network creates. We're so much bigger than people realize in terms of privacy. So that
exactly.
The
possibilities are endless.
Well, I've sent out quite a bit of pizza in my day. Secret pizza is what we call when we seed other people's wallets, and they're like, "Hey, I came to the network, but I don't have any secret for gas." And we might have to talk to you guys about using some of this stuff soon because we're building more stuff. And yeah, that first enough gas for that first transaction is important for the users. So.
Yeah, and by using this, you can actually send people gas without having to dox yourself. You can just hand them the transaction ID, and they'll be able to use it.
Very cool. All right, so and then Dead Drop again. So each wallet can make exactly one alias?
So you have a couple options here. If you go to the Receive tab up top.
Okay. So right now it's on Send, and then I have to. So if it's on Send, I have to type in somebody else's alias and then choose what I want to send them and how much.
Correct.
So if I click on Receive.
So Receive, you'll notice that under Alias, it says Optional. This is where you generate your alias. Now, you have two options here. One, if you type something in, that becomes a custom alias. So, for example, mine is Lumi, so you can send things directly to Lumi. But if you leave it blank, it'll actually recognize that there's nothing in there, and it will give you a random string that you can use as your alias. And those you can have as many as you want. You can have one custom and infinite randoms. So, hypothetically, you could just treat it like Monero sub-addresses, and for every single transaction, you could make a brand new alias, and no one would be able to connect them.
Okay. So I'm on my tutorial wallet right now, so I'm gonna try to register this. You guys aren't seeing my Kepler pop up, but it's making sure I can connect my Kepler. And I'm gonna make myself a transactions processing. Yeah, sometimes we use the podcast wallets just to seed stuff for people because we don't keep a ton of money in there. But nice.
There we go. So that is your new alias, sir. And if you ever get bored of that one, you can just go in and make a new custom alias, and it will remove your previous custom alias and make the new one your personal custom alias.
Very cool, guys. And this just dropped, right? Blackbox dropped like a couple weeks ago.
I think it's been out for a month now.
Okay.
It was early February, wasn't it?
That's wild because I swear it was on the actual roadmap for like early February. You guys actually held to that. That's incredible. You don't see that too often in this space.
It's been pushed back quite. The roadmap has changed a lot, and we had a tendency to have it show up in the roadmap for a while as being the very next month for about like 3 months.
Yeah.
So it wasn't entirely on time, but it did happen eventually. So
it looks clean, it works, and it's use cases that are important. I love it. I'm gonna have to add this to my repertoire.
Glad you like it.
And so a little bit about you guys. I'll go ahead and pull up your guys' website while we're showcasing stuff. So this is the Trivium.network. I'll add that here to the chat. And we'll get back into questions. I really like this stuff. I've been trying to get you guys on the show for a long time. Like I really like all the random things you guys are doing. Everyone's like, who's Trivium? Like who's Ziphyar? Who's Lumi? And I'm like, I don't know, but they're building a whole bunch of dope stuff.
Well, it's fun that we're finally able to make it onto these now.
Yeah. Did you guys like recently go full-time crypto? Or?
Yes. I think it was just last month we both did.
Hey, congratulations, you guys.
Thank you.
Woot. Yeah. Nice website, and this is delegate to their node. It pays for them to do a whole bunch of cool stuff for the community. So.
Yeah, everything that we build, we're going to be funded by those node profits pretty much. So that's what enables us to stay full-time on crypto and keep making awesome tools for y'all.
Absolutely. That's awesome. So you guys walked us through a lot of that kind of stuff. Now, you guys have recently started to work with more with the dev committee, and you guys are doing some kind of mentorship program. Can you walk us through what exactly that is?
Yeah, so essentially, we want to start fast-tracking more devs to get into the network. The documentation is a little bit funky. It can be very difficult to learn how to build smart contracts or build front ends for Secret Network in general. Coming from Ethereum, I learned Solidity in about, I'm going to say like a month. And then on Secret Network, it took me significantly longer to figure out what was going on. So there's a huge disconnect, and people tend to flow towards what's easiest. And our goal is to make it as easy as possible to become a developer on Secret Network. And I think that in the long run, that's going to make a lot of new dApps pop up very quickly.
Did you or did you not learn Solidity from the game Crypto Zombies?
I did learn it from Crypto Zombies.
Yes!
It's so much fun.
It was awesome. So we need a Secret Network version of Crypto Zombies for Rust. That's what I'm getting from this.
That would be awesome. I'd love to do that. I don't know how to do that, but I'm sure that somewhere down the line, we on the dev committee can figure something like that out, hopefully.
That has to get a good grant. Yeah. So, audience, if you're unfamiliar, Crypto Zombies is a silly little game that literally teaches you how to code in Solidity. And if you like pass a level or whatnot, something will happen. Some kind of animation will happen with your zombie. It's really just a game to learn how to code, but they kind of gamify it to make it cool, and you've got little zombies involved. So, we've got a black box question.
Ooh, what's the question?
All right, Adam is asking, okay, how to move all of my doxed staking tokens without unstaking?
Ooh, okay. So for that, I think what is it? Stake Easy that's coming out with a tool to like move like that you can use stake secret somehow.
So
that's not a black box thing. That's another tool.
That's actually a question probably for me. Right now, you cannot make derivative tokens from tokens that are already staked. They have to be purposely staked to the contract. If you wait several months, there will be a product out where you can still earn money while your tokens are unbonding. And then you will still have to go through a 21-day unbonding period, but you can still be earning money while you're doing that. And then you can use something like black box and using secret or whatever else to migrate those tokens somewhere else. So there, you can't move them without a 21-day unbonding period, but in the future we're building something. We, as in my team, is building something where you can still be earning rewards the entire time.
Awesome! I'm excited for that.
It's gonna be it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be fun. We're getting another one. Why does a person need an alias like this if the network is private by default?
So even though there's a lot of stuff that is private by default, on secret networks, the one thing that you have to share is your address. And you can see some things by knowing what a person's address is. You can see how much native secret they have, how much they have staked, and all the transactions that they've made with that native secret. The things that are hidden are the wrapped tokens that you have. And when you interact with a contract, people can see that you interacted with that contract, but they can't see what you did with the contract. So what this does is it just adds like another little layer of privacy on top of that. And although in the dev committee, there is kind of some long-term project discussions going on about how to anonymize this even further on the like base layer of secret. We're talking about that. We're trying to figure out a way to do that, but that is going to be a more long-term thing. And our goal is to make something good enough to kind of put Blackbox out of date, so you won't need to use that. It'll just be a native functionality on the network itself, and we think that that's going to be extremely valuable.
Yeah, and for an example on this, I have secretnodes.com up right now. It's one of the, but I'm putting in our podcast tutorial address, but you can see here when you put in my address. So right now, if somebody wants to send me tokens, I have to give them this address. And then they can call, okay, they have 12 secret. They have one delegated to. Who's it delegated to? Oh, the Secret Code podcast. Shocking, right? But what if you have, I shouldn't have to share my information. Like I'm choosing with you guys to show you guys what this is like, but they can see exactly who you're delegated to, how much you have, and then they can even scroll down and see what contracts you've interacted with and at what times. So you are still giving up a lot of your information when you give up your address. Whereas if you just give them an alias, they don't get all this information about you. So, yeah, so that's very, very useful. But excellent question, Cedric. Thank you. So yeah, dev committee mentorship. You're absolutely right that there's a lot of things that we need to do for new developers who are struggling getting originally into this ecosystem. We had Polar on earlier this week, and they're talking about how they're kind of streamlining the process of making backend contracts. We've had Griptape on a bunch, Sandy and Sticker Die, and how they're working on kind of speeding up the process of making front end. But really, there is a big gap with documentation and kind of onboarding experienced developers. We've struggled with it ourselves, or we've taken developers who have some 20 plus years of experience, and they're like, look, I know development and I know a bunch of these different languages, but this is new to me. And we're like, well, all right, how are we going to start bridging this gap? Because I'm not the right guy to go to, but there has to be someone to go to. So that's really cool that you guys are kind of taking it upon yourselves.
Yeah, and we have a couple people that are outside of the dev committee that are also volunteered to be mentors. And what we do is we will have like a quick phone call, or not phone call, a Discord call with interested parties, see where you're at in the whole learning process, and then we're going to pair you up with someone who is more experienced, and they can guide you as you make something like a project of your own. We really like a project-based approach because it's very hands-on, it's interesting, it's not like book work where you have to go in and just read a ton of stuff. And the end result is that you're going to have a dApp of your own that can contribute to the ecosystem. So we're very excited about that.
It's like a secret network Big Brother program. I love it.
Yeah, pretty much.
We absolutely need it. That's fantastic. Very cool. So what is the roadmap for Trivium looking like? I know you guys are working on a ton of stuff. Lumi, we just had you on for Midnight Teddies, which is we will be covering more here once they open up the factory or the Build-A-Bear workshop. But what all are you guys working on?
Well, we are sort of staying to the NFT field, but we're going beyond what normal projects are with like JPEGs and pieces of art stored in NFTs. We think that there's a lot more applications there. And we can't give too many details on what exactly we're building, but I can give some generalizations. One of them is a new application that's going to allow reward distribution in a very unique way, or essentially like links to accounts. using secret NFTs. And another one is actually going to break into the real world economic system with actual real world companies that are established and doing some things that are outside of crypto. So we're trying to loop the two worlds together here.
Yes, thank you. This is what we're missing. Everybody's so caught up in generic crypto where it is a silo in an echo chamber, and they're so focused on like, oh well, this project's doing this in crypto, this project's doing this in crypto. And until you're bringing real value to the real world, it is a bubble. I firmly believe that most things in crypto will fail, and Secret Network and a lot of the projects built here are going to succeed because we are going to have the privacy and whatnot that is necessary in order to bridge to the real world. And the faster and the more we start working those kinds of things out, the better. So
yeah, that's
awesome.
why I migrated here. I mean, no offense to like the other smart contract systems out there, but when I was dealing with Ethereum, it kind of felt like a proof of like a sample work. Like you could do cool things with it, but it just wasn't 100% there. But with Secret Network, you can actually do things that other companies in the real world are going to be comfortable with working with. Yeah.
I also really like that you guys haven't randomly launched a Trivium token that doesn't really have any utility, but as a funding model, because that's another thing we're seeing a lot in crypto. It's a bunch of brilliant developers who are taking over the business class, which is a good thing. For too long, people without technical skills have taken all the money, while the people with technical skills have, created all the value. But now a lot of technical people are like, oh, well, I can build all these cool things that are important and necessary, and I have no idea how to actually market it into a product, but let me launch a token and hope I get paid. And they are, but realistically, these tokens don't actually have inherent value, and the stuff they're building will eventually get picked up by other products that don't have to pay them for it, that they can then use to market. And those projects will succeed because of their building, but all of these tokens that were created in the process don't actually have any inherent value. And so more mixing the economics and the marketing with the developing awesome, cool stuff with real world value is where the future and all the money is really going to be made. So I'm glad you guys kind of seem to have that in mind and are working towards real world products. I'm stoked for whatever you guys are building.
Yeah, and we're excited to eventually be able to share more details with you guys. I wish we could share more details about what exactly that was, but it'll come eventually.
And come back on the show when you do.
At 100%.
Very cool. What is your long-term view and vision for Secret Network? What isn't here that you would like to see built, maybe that you guys are working on or that you're not working on? Where do you see us going?
Well, I really want to see us more in infrastructure and government and like real world situations, like let's say voting, for example. You could make some very interesting voting systems on Secret Network that they're not going to dox you who you voted for to everyone in the world, and people aren't going to be able to target you based off of who you voted, which we're kind of seeing that now in the current political climate where people are going after each other for their political beliefs. So we think that Secret Network is very valuable there. And in economics in general, we think that Secret Network really has the best methods of like breaking into those things. It's got the best chances of getting in there. And I really want to see Secret Network become like just a main part of the global infrastructure, protecting people's privacy and providing value for everyone. Yeah.
No, people have been using whispers.co, I think that one's Itzix, a new way of sending private messages on chain to message me hate mail because I'm collecting all the private pandas with MAGA hats. No, but you're 100% right. I mean, whether you believe that there were issues with the election reporting or not, like either way, a lot of people don't trust the election, and billions of dollars have been spent on recounts, on trying to make sure that the vote was authentic, on all of the people that like just even conducting the original like election poll and whatnot. And if you use CeFi voting, which I mean, CeFi is a tiny token, small market cap, barely used, but has private on-chain voting, like we could really for several $1 million set up an entire private voting system that was fair for the entire United States. that's provably authentic because it's on chain, and is provably fair and maintains users' privacy, where you can still go and lie to the poll like everybody loves to do. So
Yeah, it's amazing. We can make it audible where it needs to be audible, and audible by everyone. So you don't need to like get some agency to come in and trust that they're actually going to be honest in auditing. I hope this chat isn't getting too political, but it would be really amazing if we could make it so everyone can check everything for themselves. We want a greater degree of independence.
Holy Fans is learning right now that there are private pandas with MAGA hats. Yes, I am actively collecting those. I think it's hilarious. And when we go to the factory, and I have plenty of other ones that we will burn together to mix their characteristics, the whole Build-A-Bear workshop, I will be keeping all of the MAGA hats.
Excellent.
It started out as one of the most rare traits, and I want it to be one of the most common.
I may have to buy one of those off of you. I haven't gotten any.
They're not for sale. You're going to have to outbid me.
Oh, no.
And they're open offers, people. Ziphiar, now we've been talking a lot. Is there, what would you like to add to all of the conversation we've been having?
I would just like to say more in the shorter term. I'd like to see more interchain stuff, and I know that's all coming. But I think the interchain stuff is really what's going to push stuff forward. Like it's more than just Cosmos. It's in theory possible to connect like Ethereum and any blockchain. And as blockchain becomes more common, I think that's going to be a very important part of it, being able to connect between any chain, no matter what it does.
Yeah, as the Ethereum fees have gone down, our bridge isn't completely unusable anymore, and that's cool. So we've been making the rounds talking more of the layer ones, and as we're about to upgrade our CosmWasm to the upgraded version, where now all of our SNIP-20s have IBC compatibility, which is great for Cosmos interactions. We do still need to bridge out and connect to more than just our ecosystem. There are plenty more out there in crypto, plenty of cool developments, and all of them need privacy. So one cool thing, actually, we talked recently too, is SIFT-Chain. They have the Rowan token. They're another Cosmos layer 1, and they're working on OmniVM. And that is, so EVM stands for the Ethereum Virtual Machine. And that is kind of like Ethereum and all the stuff that's built on it. That's what they call it. But OmniVM is where they're also going to like work on all the different like layer 2s that people are using to scale Ethereum, such as like Polygon, Matic, and whatnot. And they're going to try to bring all of them into the Cosmos. If they can do that, and we all have IBC interoperability, like that is a great way to do it. We saw EVMOS try to launch recently. Hopefully they're able to bring that back and make it work. And then we can make more direct bridges ourselves. But yeah, the goal is to be the privacy hub for all of Web3. And we're making steps every day through cool apps like what you guys are doing.
Yeah, it's moving further and further all the time.
Go team. We're still early.
Yeah. Wow.
How can people learn more about the products you guys are doing and get more involved and reach out to you guys?
Well, we do have a Trivium Discord, which is linked on our website, trivium.network. And you can go in there, you can ask us questions, ask us for help, keep in touch with us, and we'll drop little snippets of information about what it is we're doing sometimes. And yeah, we also have a Telegram. I'm not on Telegram as much. Ziff, are you on the Telegram more or less?
I pay attention to it, but I think the Discord's busier.
Yeah, the Discord is way busier. So that's really where we drop most of our info. And yeah, you can go and talk to us on there, and we'll maybe share some alpha with you sometimes if it's something we can share.
I have just joined your guys' Discord and will be more active there because I'm excited for what you're building.
Awesome. Welcome to the crew.
Thank you. Then yeah, do we have any timelines on your guys' next product release? No, you haven't released one for like a whole month now.
Timelines, Ooh, that's a good question. I don't know about timelines. I'm trying to get a couple community code repositories out sometime soon. I'm actually working with my mentee in that mentorship program, and one of the ways that I'm teaching him before we actually move into like his own personal project of making a dApp, I'm walking him through making a community code repository, and that's going to allow essentially like a form of NFT authentication that lets you like transfer accounts between different people. So let's say you have like a Web3 World of Warcraft account, and that's going to be linked to an NFT. and you wanted to transfer that account to someone else, it really is going to be as easy as just giving that NFT to someone. There's like a key pair in there that'll rekey itself whenever it transfers, so that way you don't have to worry about the previous person knowing what that key pair is if you buy it from them. So they're not going to be able to use it anymore. It's going to be exclusively yours, and you can just transfer like whatever is associated with that NFT around to other people if you want to.
And that's something that would work on non-private ones too. Just if we did it secretly, then you could also make who sent it to you private, but you could do that on Ethereum, and that would still be cool.
Well, it has a key pair inside of it, so a public and private key. And if it was on public, someone would be able to see the private key, so you wouldn't be able to sign transactions. You can kind of do something like this with your Kepler wallet itself. Like you can sign transactions with a wallet and verify that it's you, but that's not transferable. You would have to give someone your wallet to be able to transfer any accounts that are associated with it. So by putting it into an NFT, we can, send it around if you want to like sell your Web3 World of Warcraft account or whatever.
I've had quite a few of my friends, connect their wallet to websites through the seed phrase to help that. So they have accidentally sent their wallet to people. But actually, since most of their funds were staked, I've been able to like, hey, well, your wallet's hacked. Give me your seed phrase too, and I can hopefully move your stuff before they do when it's unbonded. It's actually usually worked, which is interesting. But
awesome.
Yeah, nobody ever give up your seed phrase. That's dumb.
Yeah, this is the most important thing in crypto.
But that's really cool that you got somebody onboarded that wants to develop this, and that's something super useful, especially as we start bridging into more cross-game NFTs. I know that Chameleonville is working on it right now, but I heard there's actually a new Layer 1 coming out pretty soon, whose entire focus is cross-chain NFT gaming. That's gonna be pretty sick.
Yeah, it's getting pretty huge nowadays.
Yeah, and I think that they're gonna airdrop to Secret. So.
Ooh, okay, that's cool.
Yeah. Cool. So everybody join the Trivium Node Discord. Check out the websites. Again, I've linked them through here, but we have trivium.network for their mainnet website, blackbox.cash for using Alias or Cloak. Sorry, Dead Drop or Cloak. And secret hosts, so I'll type this one again. This was a bit tough. SCRT-host.zifyar.com. That's something that you should probably have bookmarked just to hold up whenever you need something about your history, your transaction history, what you've been doing. Again, only you can decrypt this on their site, but you can decrypt this on their site. And it's the easiest place to figure out what you've been doing if you need something. So when it's tax season, it's going to help a lot. Thank you guys so much for coming on the show. I love everything you guys have been doing. Glad
to be here. Thanks for inviting us.
Always. And when you guys have another lunch coming or right after, whenever you guys want, open invite. Always.
100%. You'll be one of the first people to know when we can finally make some details public about those things that we're working on with NFTs. Sweet. And audience, if you guys have any questions for him, hit him up in the Discord, and then we'll have him back on soon. See you guys.